Hey guys, thanks for coming back. This week I saw The Amazing Spider-Man starring Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, and Rhys Ifans. This is With a K Review. I'm Victor. Let's get to it. So after 5 years, Spider-Man is being rebooted by director Marc Webb. He's the guy that brought us the 500 Days of Summer, a little indie movie a couple years ago. But most of us are really asking ourselves, why? A little bigger. Why? Now, most of us really liked the first Spider-Man. We thought the second one was awesome. The second one was awesome. What it was. In this particular reboot of Spider-Man, we really go down the darker road when we look at his origins and who he really is as a superhero. With this Spider-Man reboot, we really take a darker look at Spider-Man, about his lore and his origins. The new Spider-Man is played by Andrew Garfield, and he's the guy from the Social Network movie. And he really does do a good job as Peter Parker, playing the nerdy but smarter than he looks kind of guy. Even though Gwen Stacy was introduced in the third Spider-Man, we get to have a new introduction to her, and she's played by Emma Stone. You may remember her from Easy A and The Help. She does a really good job at playing Peter Parker's love interest, and they both have really good on-screen chemistry. The first few minutes of this film has young Peter Parker being abandoned by his parents, and they drop him off at his aunt and uncle's house, who are played by Sally Field and Martin Sheen. And then we fast forward a little bit and Parker's at high school. Now at this point in the movie there are a lot of changes to what the first movie was, and I really don't want to give away a lot of those because I don't want to give you a lot of spoilers, because they're actually worth picking out between the first movie and the reboot. But what I will say, it's about time for the original web shooters to come back like they were supposed to be, Sam Raimi. Also, I noticed a small detail about Parker's camera that was used in the movie. It's actually eerily similar to the 1994 animated series, and it's a lot closer to the ones used in the comic books. It's just one of those small details that the director did, but I find it to be really cool because it's something that a person like me can remember from way back. What I really wanted to focus on in this movie was the overall darker tones that it decided to take, especially when it came to the violence between Spider-Man and the Lizard. And in this movie, the Lizard fight scenes with Spider-Man are really visceral, especially towards the end. The Lizard actually takes his hand and runs it through another character in the movie. And I really found it to be like a lot more violent, which is fine. But if you're taking a younger kid to this movie, I think they might actually be really scared about that Lizard, which to me, yep, that's pretty scary. And so just in general, parents, if you're taking your younger kids to the movie, be wary. There's a lot more violence and a lot more blood in this one. The other darker tone in this movie was the death of Uncle Ben, and it actually stringed along fairly well in this movie. Other than like the first one, the death of Uncle Ben was almost like solved. But in this one, it actually goes throughout the entire movie and affects the Spider-Man character a lot more, and actually has a lot more effect on what he does in the movie. Now, the Doc Connors character, played by Rhys Ifans, did a really good job as playing, Doc Connors and the Lizard. And I really did like how he portrayed the character. There was about one point in the movie where I wasn't really sure if I was really buying the whole scientist trying to save humanity and then he goes insane as well. But in general, he did a pretty good job as the Lizard. Unfortunately, he did look like one of the Goombas from Super Mario Brothers, but we'll let that slide this time. Now, the actual origin story of Spider-Man in this movie, how he gets his powers and how he develops them and how he learns how to use them, it is a little bit different in this film. And it's not as long as it was in the first one. It's actually really quick. But we still enjoy him swinging through the city. It's done on first-person, view on a lot of them, so you might get a little sick as, he's swinging from place to place. But in general, it's really nice to see in the movie, and it's fun for everybody. So The Amazing Spider-Man, for me, gets a 3K review. Now, I really wanted to give this movie a 3.5K review, but there's a part in the end where two characters make an agreement. And 4 minutes later, in movie time, the agreement is broken by one of them. And I didn't understand why that had to be, because it was like one of the most emotional, impactful moments of the movie. And when it did that, I was just like, you're setting up for that sequel. But I just thought that that was the point in the movie that made me take away that 0.5. So The Amazing Spider-Man does get that strong 3K review from me. For The Amazing Spider-Man, I decided to sell my second unborn child to go see it in 3D. And I have to tell you, just like every other 3D movie that's out there, it's sort of worth it, but in the end, it's not really worth it because there's only just a few scenes in the movie that really make it cool. I would recommend going to see this movie at a regular price, and I would also recommend seeing it at the matinee price. It's a really good film, and I think everybody's really going to enjoy it. And make sure that when it comes out on video that you rent it, and when it starts to stream, you definitely see it. Thank you all for watching my show. In a couple weeks, we're going to have a really cool movie coming out, and I just can't remember what it is. It's some movie. It's been really big. It's made a lot of money. The second one did. Ah! Ow! The Dark Knight Rises. Batman's a jerk. Dang it. Anyway, guys, this is With a K Review. I'm Victor, and remember, if you don't like the movie that you're watching, you can always turn it off. Thanks, guys. Bye.